Hello viewers, it's Sentai from Screen Reviews, bringing you a new podcast from my segment called the Super Sentai Review. And like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly, in case you don't understand me. Also, I'll try to do my best not to breach your heart during this audio podcast recording as well, not to cause any audio feedback as well. And finally, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will contain adult language. Once again, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will contain adult language. Now, if you're over 18, that means you're good to watch this audio podcast recording. So anyway, with this and everything else out the way, let's get into the latest episode. Let's get into the latest episode of Zenkaiger. So basically, the episode starts off like this. We back at the Trojan Dynasty Palace. Back at the Trojan Dynasty Palace, we see King Borka, his robot bird Geen, and Colonel Bassett and Professor Eisen were being yelled by King Borka because he's tired of them failing to beat the Zenkaigers and including Kikai as well. So basically, Kurt Bashin, he said that ever since the two Congress system make that new gear for them, basically the Zen Kaizen gear, the Zen Kaizen gear that allows that gives two Kaiser and Kaido a power up into the Suka mode. So basically, and that's when King Broker's move first, like, I do like two Kaiser's sister. So basically, seems like Geen, feel like the bird, the robot bird Geen, who is King Broker's pet, seems to have a crush on two Kaiser's sister. But anyway, Broker said that well, you guys better have a plan to get to deal with what Title and Zux's Suka form. So basically, Kurt Bassin said, I do. So basically, I use the Trojan gear and made a monster that can deal with that can help us ruin their reputation. So anyway, out for the city, we see a bunch of people being attacked by evil copies of themselves. So basically, through the city, we see people and Kairoids being attacked by evil versions of themselves. Turns out there's this monster. So basically, Kurt Bassin had used a chosen gear to make a coffee monster that can copy anybody, and it's making evil copies of people and Kairoids and using those evil copies to attack the people and Kairoids and doing damage to the city. So basically, Kaido and the others showed up and morphed up and started to battle and started to fight the coffee monster. But the others were so occupied. So basically, Gal and the others were so busy helping the good people, saving the good people and good Kairoids from the evil copies, while Kaido was left to battle the monster. So basically, two Kairos showed up and they worked together and started to fight the coffee monster. But the coffee monster used his coffee powers, and he had this arm that looked like a coffee, looked like a giant coffee machine, and copy a evil version of Zox and Kaido in their range of forms. So basically, the evil copies for this the evil copies managed to get the upper hand against Kaido and Kikai, especially the others. So about time the others showed up, the two evil copies got the upper hand and forced Kaido and the other Zenkaigers to do more, except for Zox, aka Kaido. So basically, the two evil copies of Zox and Kaido lashed with the copy monster, and Kaido decides to go after the evil copies of him and Kaido, and while Kaido just stand there like not really caring about his evil copy doing bad things. So anyway, so basically, after looking for looking to the evil copies, the police locked up Kaido for his evil copy's cries. So basically, the cops showed up and surrounded Kaido and locked him up for the crimes of his evil copy and for his evil copy of himself and Zox for committing crimes around the city and whatnot, stealing, blowing up buildings and shit like that, blah blah blah. So basically, while Kaido was locked up, Kaido's grandma was watching all the bad things that that his evil copy and Zox's evil copy was doing on the news, and gathered others to explain that's not Kaido, that's an evil copy, but still it's just hard to, Kaido's grandma like, all right, yeah, but it's just hard to see, a evil copy of my grandson doing all these heinous things. And as for Zox, aka Kikai, he was watching the news, watching his evil copy and Kaido's evil copy committing these crimes, just sitting there with his sister and brothers, just watching his evil copy along with Kaido's evil copy committing these crimes. It's just sitting there, just not giving a fuck. So anyway, meanwhile, back at the police station where the real Kaido is being held, the protected believes that that Kaido is believes Kaido is innocent, but he would just want to make sure that until we get a handle on his evil copy and whatnot. So basically, the police detective believes Kaido that there's an evil copy of him and two Kaiser out there committing these crimes. So basically, the cop does believe that Kaido is innocent, but he just wants to make sure. That Kaido is the real Kaido, not the evil Kaido. So anyway, we see the real two Kaiser showed up at the police station and bust Kaido out and took him to his spaceship and and he's like, what? At first I didn't really care about my evil copy committing crimes, but after a while, I decided, me to stop my evil copy and your evil copy for going too far. So basically, Zox is like, at first I didn't care about my evil copy, but I just realized that what if my evil copy goes too far? So basically, I'm a pirate, but I have certain boundaries. So basically, Zox offered to help Kaido, to take down the evil copy. So anyway, with the help of Sashin, down the others managed to find Kaido and Zox's evil copy along with the copy monster. So basically, Kaido and the others Kaido and Zox showed up and morphed up, and the evil copies. So basically, everybody morphed up, including the evil copies. Give me a minute, my nose is a little stuffed up. So anyway, so basically, all the Zenkaigers and all the Zenkaigers, including including two kinds of morpha and some of the evil copies. So basically, the evil copies, so basically, Zoc and Kaido was fighting the evil copies while Guy and the others was fighting the copy monster. So anyway, with a little help from magic, they was able to jam the copy monster's copy arm machine for stopping the monster to make evil copies of Gal and the others. So basically, making use of magic to jam his copy arm to stopping him from making evil copies of themselves. So anyway, so using the bioman Sentai, they was able to hit the copy monster with an electric shock blast by using the bioman gear, and was able to finish him off with their combined attack. As for Kaido and Zox, they was able to summoned the Kaiju gears and transform into the super mode. So basically, they summon the Kaiju gears to transform into the super mode and destroy the evil copies. And once the other Zenkaiger destroyed the copy monster, all the evil copies of people in Kaiwa disappeared. So basically, it seems like everything was okay until a giant foot soldier monster showed up and dissolved the power of the copy monster's chosen gear. So basically, the giant foot soldier monster showed up and dissolved the power of the chosen gear of that monster and became a giant copy monster. So basically, the copy monster used his powers to make evil copy versions of buildings, bridges, and whatnot. So basically, Gal and Yuan and Majin and Boom could transform into their Megazord modes, into the Megazord mods and form the Jew Gown Megazord and the Boom Majin Megazord. So basically, but the evil copies of buildings and the evil copies of buildings and bridges, was kicking their asses, and that's when the copy monster made copy versions of both Megazords and basically forced Gal and the others to disassemble out of their Megazord forms and back to their normal Ranger forms. So basically, that's the first setup in the spaceship until Jewel and Jock that press down on your Kaiju gears mouse. So basically, they press down on the Zen Kaiju gears mouse, and Kaido was able to grow just like Gal and the others in his super mode. But when it comes to Kikai, when he pressed down on his gears mouse, he transformed into a robot, into a small robot, just like his brothers are. So basically, he was able to. So basically, he transformed into his Superbell SD form. So basically, Kaido is now able to grow just like Gal and the others when they go into the Zord forms and whatnot. So as for Kaido, he was able to transform into a little robot just like his brothers. are stuck right now. So basically, they now together, they can combine together for a new Zord. So basically, they formed the Zenkaiger Zord. So basically, they formed the Zenkaiger Zord. So basically, it's like a combination, Magic Dragon Zord and T-Rex fused together. So anyway, so basically, kind of made up most of made up the body, hands, and arms, and Kikai became the head of the Zord. So basically, they became this giant firepower dinosaur that kind of looks like a fusion between Dragon Zord and T-Rex. So basically, they used their new Zord form, working together as a team. Kyle and Zoc used their new Zord form to take down the evil copies and took down the copy monster and save the city, and the day was saved. So anyway, so basically, Kyle gave Zoc for the help for saving the city and whatnot, especially taking out his evil copies, and so Zoc used to get Kyle in his own special way, and he's forward in his spaceship. So anyway, while that was going on, we go back to the bad guys. We go back to the Trojan Tento Dynasty Palace. We see the Professor Aizen in his lab being pissed off that that we was able to make a new Zord and get it where he was pissed off that two-character system was able to get Kaido and Zoc, a Zord form, a new Zord form to take down the monster. But turns out that he had to cross on Flint as well. So basically, telling her that yet again, Flint is kind of cute for a human. But anyway, we see Stacy show up at the lab, and I'm like, there you are, Stacy. I have a new weapon for you. So basically, Aizen was about to sell Stacy a new weapon to get to Stacy, and Stacy was just standing there, what's wrong with you? And Stacy was like, nothing. They were like, nothing. I'm just, I was just daydreaming for a moment. So anyway, and the episode ended with Stacy falling to Professor Aizen to get the new weapon that he made for Stacy, and this is how the episode ended with Stacy falling to Professor Aizen to get a new weapon that he made for him, and so basically this is how the episode ended. So anyway, this was a good debut of the new Zord. So basically, we now know Kaido can grow just like the other Zenkaigers, and also we know that two characters can also transform into a mini robot just like his brothers. So basically, this could really help Kaido, and this could really help out Kaido. And then plus they can also transform into a Zord now. So basically, this could really help out against the bad guys now. So anyway, this was a great episode. This was a good debut episode for new Zord and some new forms. So anyway, this was a very good episode. So anyway, what did you guys think of this episode? Was it good? Was it bad? Or was it just okay? Please let me know in the comments below this podcast. So anyway, this is Michael for Screen Review. Sign off. 1.